welcome to Lovely Mommy TV. If you're new here, you're going to love it. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. And also for those who are returning, I'm sorry that it's been so long since we've been face to face. As you can see, I'm in a new kitchen and I love it. That's because I recently moved, and of course, moving is a process. But nonetheless, in this video, I'm going to be making a lovely coconut rum cake. If you know or if you've seen before, I created a Jamaican rum cake in a previous video. That one is my all-time favorite. Check it out here by tapping this eye above if you haven't seen it already. But this time around, we're going to be doing a nice, light, super moist, still has the kick of the rum, also a lovely coconut flavor that we're going to infuse a few different ways. So it's going to be a well-rounded coconut rum cake. Keep watching to see how it all comes together. Okay, let's get started with this lovely rum cake, and I'll try to make it as easy as possible for you to follow along. Here's a look at the ingredients that we'll be using today, and as always, you can find them all listed in the description box below with their exact measurements. To get started, we're going to combine our dry ingredients. So you're going to sift some cake flour, add in some baking powder, and a little bit of salt. Give that a gentle stir and then set it aside. In a separate bowl, we're going to cream our room temperature butter and sugar together. Take your time with creaming. This is what makes the cake extra light and fluffy. Scrape down the bowl as you go to make sure that there are no sugar crystals left on the side of the bowl. Next up is our first round of coconut flavor. I'm using cream of coconut. This is oftentimes used to make pina coladas, as you can see on the can. When you first buy it, it probably is going to be hardened, but no worries. Go ahead and let it sit in some warm water for a few minutes, and then it will liquefy again just like this and be ready to add into your batter. After your cream of coconut goes in, you're going to add in some unsweetened coconut cream. Give those ingredients a nice smooth mix, and then we'll move on to adding in the rum. I'm using a dark spice rum, Appleton from Jamaica of course, and a coconut rum. Next, I'm going to go in with some coconut extract and pure vanilla extract. Then to add a bit more moisture to this cake, I'm going to put in a tiny bit of vegetable oil. Gently mix those ingredients together, scraping down the bowl at least one good time, and then we can move on to adding the final ingredients to this batter. And the final ingredients consist of alternating between the dry mixture that we combined earlier and 4 eggs. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, especially if you end up trying it and it turns out great, as I'm sure it will. And also hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Now we're going to be baking this cake in a bundt pan, which I recommend. It comes out very lovely in a bundt pan. The way that I avoid the cake sticking is by using shortening to grease my pan rather than butter or baking spray. This time I'm using a butter flavored shortening, and I'm going to go ahead and take my time and brush it into all the crevices of the bundt pan. And then I'm going to give it a light dusting of plain flour. Now we're good to go. I'm going to pour the batter into the bundt pan. give it a little tap against the counter, and then it's gonna go into the oven at 325 degrees for 40 minutes. In the meantime, while the cake is in the oven, we're going to create a coconut simple syrup. And to do that, you're going to combine equal parts of water and sugar. Stir it well, bring it to a boil, and then when it's brought up to a boil, add in some coconut extract. Turn off the stove, and then we're going to add in some of that coconut rum that we also use in the batter. The reason why I turn off the stove before adding the rum is because I don't want the flavor to burn out. I want it to be very strong in the cake, similar to how we do the Jamaican rum cake. Next, I'm going to toast some coconut shreds by adding it to a pan over medium heat. I'm just gonna try to spread it across my pan evenly so that as many of the shreds as possible can get nice and toasty. Be careful and watch this carefully because it will quickly burn. This should only take you about 2 minutes before they get nice and toasted. Now I'm going to add those shreds to the simple syrup and let it sit until the cake is done baking. Okay, 40 minutes has passed and my cake is done and it's looking so beautiful. Now, in order to get this cake out perfectly, go ahead and let it sit on a cooling rack for 10 minutes before you flip it out of the pan. And there it is. Look how nice and easily it came out. As soon as I flipped it over, I heard it drop, so that's exactly what you want. Now I am going to strain the coconut shreds out of my syrup. This is just personal preference because I actually don't like chewing on coconut shreds, but of course, if you don't mind it, go ahead and leave them in. And now you can pour that simple syrup over the top of your cake, and this is pretty much it. It's all done and it's beautiful and it's tasty. It's moist, and the coconut and the rum are the perfect combination together. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that you give this recipe a try and you enjoy tasting this cake. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.